Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome to episode 4 of my Torment Times of Numenera Impressions playthrough. Last time we encountered the first of what might be a difficult combat scenario, or a crisis. Pardon me, I still have indigestion from last episode. I should not eat before I do these, I'll learn. So what happened last time? Yeah, we started to explore. And it seems being honest had disastrous consequences, but I'm going to keep doing that because my thought is after I fell a couple of these goons, I might be able to talk to this guy and get him to resolve everything peacefully. Or maybe I can talk to him using Calistage. We'll see. Anyways, let's begin. Okay, so I'm using Losty. So how do I use the here we go. To all characters. 100% hit, 100% hit. Actually, let's use the thing. See what it does. There is a shallow depression in the surface here, like many others scattered around the construct. Unlike the others, energy still pulses across this one at random intervals. A slight yet implacable sense of unease emanates with each wave of energy. There is a loose lens at the center of the depression. You'd think you could redirect the psychic effects somewhere more useful, but it'll be tricky to get to it in between the energy pulses. I do have quick fingers. Redirect the lens to direct the psychic energy at your enemies. 60. Oh. This is speed, right? Yeah, 80. Let's do it. Yay. With careful timing, it is easy to twist the lens of what is hopefully a more favorable position. The lens glows, warning of an impending energy pulse. The field of energy extends outward and worms into eyes, ears, and mouths of Cora's team. Hope drains from their faces, replaced by a numb stare. Then the shallow depression becomes dark and dormant. Ooh, psychic attack.
I'm surrounded. Help!
Okay, so what can I use? We're flanked. 50% invasion. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Ooh, critical, nice. Hey, let's leave you.
All right.
Hobbled on a more Calistage. So I can talk to Cora. Let's do that. Oh, what? How do I talk? I want to do the talking. I don't want to just attack you. I want to talk to you. Why can't I just talk to you? Ah, there we go. Okay, it's not letting me talk to him, so... Yeah, you're concerned about your buddy. Let's, Oh! Shit. Okay. It's cast off's turn. Can I... Yeah, look at that. Cool. Okay. Kettle stage. Actually, let's cancel that one. Let's just attack Filnick. 3.0. Okay. Cool. Ooh. Hmm. Okay. Requires an action. I'll have to wait till next turn. Let's heal him again. The Cal stage. 60%, 85%. Sounds good. Oh, there's something there. Huh. That might be useful. Huh. Ran off. Okay. Heals might. Yeah. Okay, we're all... I still have living tattoos on me, right? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm still not allowed to talk to him.
Waveforms collapse into a single reality.
Resistance stat works the same as armor, but extra stuff. Okay. That sounds good.
Taste your death.
Cora looks around. The point of the proper drug says he takes in the darkness of the situation. Well, Falling Star, it seems you put me at a disadvantage. What do you say we let bygones be, hmm? He flashes a handsome smile. Remember, I'm just the employee here. All of us gotta eat. I'd rather part friends than wounded enemies, wouldn't you? I'll tell Solemn Mary the star landed in the bay. She can't get mad at me for that. A good suggestion. He's an honest boy, mostly, if you're on the same side. Of course you'd say that. I feel safer both of you jumped in the reef. So he's gonna go tell his employer that Star landed in the bay. Do I really want to... he's gonna betray us. But if he dies, they might send someone else after me. Okay, let's see if I can get something out of him then. They smile, freeze in place. Right, well, I guess I can't argue with that. Here, spray flesh. Cool. Fine, now get out of here. Right, much obliged. Gold tide raised. Okay. Well, that was interesting. That was a fiasco. At least you got some valuables out of it. I have to admit, that's exactly what the changing guard would have done in your place. Crosses his arms. Anyway, I hope you learned something. You can't trust her in any reality. I knew I couldn't trust Calistage. This is the last time I make that mistake. Excuse me, are you suggesting I had something to do with Cora's plans? Oh, I cannot abide his rabbit paranoia a moment longer. Are you suggesting you didn't? An old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us, as we return from the graves to find the reef of singing ears? It's too convenient for me. Too convenient by far. They attacked me too, in case you missed that. Well, they didn't kill you. Maybe you intended for them to weaken us so you could stab us in our sleep tonight. He throws up a hand, forestalling Calistage's retort. Look, I don't care. Fact is, I can't trust you anymore. No wonder why I ever did. This is the last we traveled together. I've got enough to worry about without having to watch my back 28 hours a day. He turns to you. You coming, kid, or what? Maybe I can keep them together. You're really going to walk away from each other over this? Oh, this is just the last needle that crushed Undine. You haven't seen 1/10 of her depths, not 1/20th. She's a backstabbing bitch, and this mess here only proves it. Always a paragon of class, Aligern. If I did have any interest in betraying you, do you really think I would need Koro's help? Yet this is the thanks I get for coddling your pain-rattled judgmental weakness for so long. I've had enough. She turns to you. Child, I am happy to guide you, but I will not walk another step with this paranoid buffoon. Finally, something we agree on, he growls. Kid shall chop off your head and spit down your throat. I'll get you where you need to go and let you sleep at night to boot. It's up to you. Whew, this is tough. Why can't I travel with both of you? Can't you just work it out? She bursts out laughing. My dear boy, we have been working it out. Aligern's petulance, his obstinacy in the face of fact, drive me away every day. He might be strong, but he's also thick. I dare you to try traveling with him. See how long you endure. Not as long as I have, I'll wager. His face darkens under her accusations, but he manages a pained smile, as if you're doing me a favor by staying with me. Do you think I don't see your true self in all those echoes around you? That's you, Calistage, every facet of it. Your vivisectionist's heart hasn't changed, just the way you present it. I thought it could help you, but... Decision. I think Aligern's more on the level, but Calistage is cool. Calistage is more interested in me. But I did want to go to the cult of the chosen god, so okay.
As you wish. Should you change your mind, I'll be at the order of truth. But don't bring the complainer. A farewell to you, child, and best of luck. You'll need it.
Huh. The game forced me to make a hard decision. And good riddance, he gestures towards the stair. Come on, whatever answers exist are up there. Wow. Wow, that was... Now that you've dealt with Koro and his goons, you can continue on to the city of Sega's Cliffs. To reach the city, cross the bridge at the north end of the platform. Before you go, you may wish to take a moment to recover and search the bodies of your defeated enemies for any equipment or valuables. That sounds like a good idea. Thick air snare. Okay, that's cool. Let's have like rush. A buzzer, eh? Okay. So. Buzzer is a light range weapon that uses speed. That sounds more my speed. Hehe. Oh, shit. The cipher. It's a one-use dealie. Yeah. Oh, it did say that before, but I think I misunderstood. Damn. Okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah, don't need it. Yep. Cool.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Leave the area. Wow. What an introduction. Let's get you to the cult of the changing god. They're encamped by the clock in the great square here. Okay. There's a bunch of people. Right.
Here we go then.
Yen, the overseer, Levi, Sage Temperson, Tabir, Atero. They all have names.
It now.
They're probably all people I want to talk to. What the heck is that? You inch closer to the lattice of energy that holds the creature, and as you lean in, the ugly glaive with the sledgehammer slung over his shoulder shouts at you. Oi, no gawking for free. Pay El Ginto or get gone. He glowers at you, hand reaching for the heft of his hammer until you step away from the cage. Maybe I can talk to Tabor about what's happening here. Pacing the edges of the crowd is a paunchy old soldier with a swaggering stride. At the moment, however, his jauntiness seems overshadowed by worry, and he alternates between watching the execution and searching the crowd as if looking for a miracle. Then his eyes light on you. I've never seen his face before. This might be just the break I need.
I say, you look like someone who believes in justice. How'd you like to help a poor soul wrongfully condemned?
What kind of help do you need? I don't need anything, but my friend there on the platform is dying. The nightmares his executioners have induced in him spill from him with every word he speaks and wrap around him like a snake. He glances at the execution. I know there are but a few strands around him now, but in a few days' time they'll choke the life out of him. I cannot imagine a more horrible way to die. Pardon me. He pauses. Well, that's not true. I have an imagination that would shame a sailor. He leans in. You'll need to be swift and willing to hold justice above law, but there is a way to save him, if you will hear me out. Why is your friend being executed? A misunderstanding, he says, waving a dismissive hand. Riz and I were hired to deliver some expensive brandy to an out-of-town buyer. He breathes a sigh, weighted with disgust and regret. Would you believe that the bottles were stuffed with state secrets? Riz was accused of selling information to the enemies at Sage's Cliffs. They called him a traitor. It was a travesty, he growls, his eyes blazing with righteous fury. Poor lad had no idea what was in there. Tragic. If he'd known, he might have escaped too. Then we wouldn't be in this mess. But you did, right? Well, he says, sliding the arrow over your shoulder, there's a place for talking about what I know and what I don't. This isn't the place. He clears his throat. If you were part of the scheme, why aren't you up there with him? Luck, he says, shrugging. I was taking a piss when they came for him. Went through the back window and scampered up to the roof. He shakes his head. I watched poor Riz being led away from my hiding spot. Swore I'd get him free. I hope it's a promise I can keep. Why are you helping Riz? Is friendship not reason enough? He declares, then his shoulders sag and he hangs his head. Actually, truth to tell, there's more to it than that. I'm partly to blame for him being up there. Guilt's a strong motivator, eh? I want to talk to your friend. Are you mad? Tiber sputters. It's an execution. He's surrounded by levies. They won't let you near him, and even if they did, he's out of his head. You get nothing but gibberish from him. And if he doesn't speak gibberish, no, best to assume it's gibberish. Alright, forget it. Tiber breathes a sigh of relief. Good thinking, friend. It's never wise to stir up the levies. What's your plan? A simple one, but it requires nerve. Listen, he lowers his voice. It would be nothing for someone of your noble demeanor to masquerade as a city official and ask the council clerk for an archived copy of an old stay of execution. Once you have it, I'll write out a fresh one and add Riz's name. Then we'll present it to the overseer here, and poor Riz will be set free. He spreads his hands. There you have it, a foolproof, risk-free plan. Would it be simpler to talk to the crowd at the execution, convince them to rise up and free Riz? Tipper looks uneasy. Well, you're welcome to try, friend, but leave me out of it. Sage's Cliff's crowds are notoriously bloodthirsty. The execution officials are not known for their sense of humor. You might regret it later, and you'd be alone when you did. Too many unknowns in a scheme like that, not enough escape routes. That sounds like an extremely risky plan. Nonsense, he says, waving a hand. It couldn't be simpler. Just be calm, confident, and wear a winning smile. He gives you a winning smile. Where do I find the council clerk? He'd be in Government Square, of course. There's a podium outside the council tower. I can't think of a time he wasn't there. All right, I'll help you. Excellent. Then you will need a proper story and a badge of office. Fortunately, I have the first, and you can buy the second from Sangolin, the clothing merchant in Government Square. He folds his arms. Once you have a badge of office, you will tell the council clerk you are from the Judicial Oversight Committee, looking into corruption in the commutation of capital sentences. The stay you're asking for is that of a notorious gangster named Cole Carden, who was mysteriously set free a few years ago. When you get Cole's stay of execution, I'll make a copy with Riz's name on it. You can give it to the overseer, who will free him. You see, simple. He rubs his hands together. Now, if you'll let me join you, I'd be happy to show you around the city, to help you with all this, and whatever else you have going. What do you say? Do I take him with me? I don't trust him. But what did I say about my character? I don't trust him, but maybe my character is just dumb enough to do it. Thanks, I could use the help. It will be my pleasure, but let's hurry. There's not a moment to lose. Riz hasn't much time. Okay. So there's an arms merchant. And, do I have a journal? Yeah, there we go. Stay of execution. And there's Fallen to Earth. Right. Okay. But the first part, instead of rallying the spectators, like, impersonating city official sounds more complicated, so it might be more fun. Need one of the badges. Okay. Runs a clothing shop. Sangolin. He's my first. Belinda. Sterisi. Crier. Levy.
You've got it.
Something, something, something. Look at that. The structure is embedded in the ground. It was clearly not made by the same people who built Circus Minor. It looks as though the device extends deeper into the ground, below the road. Weathered rooms are spread across the device's surface. Leave the device alone. That sounds good.
Why not?
Okay. Skull-like relief could be a warning, or perhaps a notice that something harmless but related to death waits below. Oh, pardon me. Okay, to the underbelly. I don't want to go to the underbelly.
Yes.
Mimian, Casmine, Changing God, Cultist. Ooh. What's this in the middle? Look, look! It's one of the Death Cheater's vessels. Can it be? What fortune! What joy! Casmine will want to see you, Vessel, and Mimion, too. Ah, these two. Okay, let's talk to you. As you approach the duo, you see that they are arguing heatedly but quietly. The petite woman turns toward you. Her hair is unusual, a light, almost yellow color, and her bright eyes dominate her pretty face. Excuse me, sir, my friend and I were having a discussion, and... Her eyes fall upon your tattoo, and her breath catches oddly in her throat as my timer goes off. A cast-off. One I've never seen. I'm going to finish talking to these guys before I stop. Her partner is an unnaturally tall man, gaunt and sour-faced, his voice sonorous, with fingers that twitch and weave through strange contortions. Occasional light sparks in the air as he does. He turns to you and opens his mouth to speak, registers your tattoo, and closes it again. His throat bobs for a moment, and he says, "It is an honor." He nods his head to the two of them. "I've brought someone you should meet," he turns to you. "These are Casmine and Mimion. They're leaders of the local branch of your church." "You have our thanks for the introduction, Elegern. Our deepest thanks." He eyes the Aeon priest for a moment, as if about to say more, but thinks better of it. "Elegern has rarely been so helpful to us in the past." He collects himself. "If I might impose on your time for a moment, will you tell me about your tattoo? How did you shape it? Do you know why it differs from the others? I'm having trouble placing him. Could it be? Need more time to question him." "I don't know much about my tattoo. What does it mean to you?" "You have been touched by the changing God," she whispers. "His mind sheltered in you. He shared his dreams, his power with your mind. And when he left your body, he created you." She swallows. "The tattoo marks you, all of you, with his symbol. It grows and changes as you mature, so that it becomes your symbol instead. There are more of you. They call you cast-offs." She cocks her head, studying you. "You are welcome here, revered one. We stand ready to serve as we can. Have you any questions for us?" Yeah, how about the sorrow?" She shudders and touches herself ritualistically on the forehead and on her lips. "A monster of deepest nightmare. I have heard that it wants you dead. Every one of the Holy One's creations, all dead. I don't know why, but it hates you." Do you know anything about a device called a resonance chamber?" "Rumor and conjecture, nothing more. Idle speculation from those who wish to pretend to knowledge of your sire's motivations, passed along as fact." He leans up to touch you. "Have you seen it? Do you know where it is? What it does?" The resonance chamber is in the Reef of Fallen Worlds under a broken dome." "Truly? Oh, Mim, we should organize an exploratory party. Just think, we might be among the first to touch it. And perhaps to learn something from it?" His voice is a gentle rebuke. "We should focus on uncovering and celebrating his hidden accomplishments, Kaz, not prancing around his existing creations like superstitious savages." He waves his finger. With that, an epiphany seems to break in his mind. "I'm certain now, we haven't met this one yet." He looks sharply at you now, all distraction gone. "I do not recognize you," he says. "You do not match any descriptions we have recorded." She snaps her fingers as if she is finally figuring out a mystery. Wait, let me remember your face." She studies you carefully. Oh my, you're new! Are you the changing God? Can it be?" She reaches out to touch your sleeve and pulls her hand back quickly. "No, I am not the changing God." His eyes flicker toward you and his mouth draws down for a moment, but he says nothing. He nods, satisfied. "As I thought, you are a cast-off, one of his children." He touches you with his long-fingered hand as if in consolation. "There is no shame in such a thing. Many cast-offs have come to our attention, and some of them have sought to deceive us so that they might seem more important." He smiles softly. "If you are as new as we suspect, it is better for you, for us, to know the truth of your existence than to bluster and lie." Crestfallen, she touches your shoulder. Are you sure you're not?" She catches herself. "No, why would you lie about that?" With a noticeable effort, she wrenches herself into optimism, and she chirps, "But you're new, aren't you? You're new! Have you decided what you'll do? What you'll be? Your sire's other children have done amazing things. Amazing. And no doubt you will as well." He lays a hand on her shoulder, and his voice is low, cautionary. "Cass." She looks away from you for a moment, swallowing sudden tears, and he says, "We have a request for you." He gestures toward the clock behind him. Dark figures circumambulate these clock faces. I have theorized that your sighter's creation of the time shields that protected the city established a connection with its future selves. Given this, we believe those figures may be cast-offs, or ghosts of cast-offs perhaps, the living shells of the bodies your creator has worn previously. His fingers shrug eloquently for him. The clock is unmoored in time, you see. We do not have a knowledge sufficient to investigate, but you might. You have a connection with he who created the clock. You should be able to align it with the present time and uncover who these figures are. A gentle, rare smile appears. If you cannot, at least you will increase our store of knowledge. She smiles bravely, looking between Mimion and you, and says, "And then we can answer the questions you might have, right, Mim? Do you have any idea how to fix the clock?" "We have tried. I have appealed to the Order of Truth. I have spoken with eminent seekers of knowledge. We have sent for wisdom from as far as the Steadfast. A great achievement, you must agree. None have given us an answer. We believe your sire created the device, or had a hand in it, perhaps." Clock, hand. Dismay dances across his fingers. His hungry-eyed compatriot steps in. "Perhaps you can find an answer where others have failed, and then we can help you." She turns away. "You will have our boundless gratitude, revered one." Wow, okay, so that's my new quest. Fix the clock. That sounds easy enough. Let's do a save, a new save game. Circus Minor, sure. Yay. And with that, we'll leave it there for today. Wow, well, I've got my first side quest to save someone from execution by nightmare. I've met these folks who seem to revere the Changing God as a god. Well, I guess his name is the Changing God. Wow, I'm really enjoying this. It's deep. You know, it feels also like how to put it. Like, it feels like it flows a lot better than previous CRPGs that I've played. Like, if I keep following one thing to the next, I'll have a good time, and the story will just kind of move on its own accord. It doesn't feel like, I remember when I played Planescape, I found myself wandering and wondering where I was going, and just exploring new areas because I didn't know what I was doing, and, you know, I'd come across a lot of trouble that way. This feels like the experience so far is a bit more guided. I mean, it's still early days, so it could be otherwise, but I am enjoying the pace of it so far, and I hope you're enjoying this playthrough as well. Please tell me what you thought of this episode and of the playthrough in general down in the comments, and I'll see you next time with episode 5 of Torment Tides Numenera. See you later, folks. Have a good one.